Welcome to Geopowr. This is Michael Overdoon. I'm going to be showing you how to play the two-player game for North America and Asia. We have action pads, energy cubes, tiles, and also mission cards. The mission cards include two global missions, which are the Well Digger over here that gives you 6 bonus points, and also the Green Queen that gives you 8 points if you get a power plant of the geothermal and oil for the Well Digger and for wind, solar, and hydro for the Green Queen. Each player also gets a mission card of their own. It's typically secret. I'll just put it face up here, so oil, and for Asia, wind. Each player also gets 3 tiles, and that allows them to build their construction sites by adding them to the starter tile in the middle of the table. And then there's also 3 tile piles that they can draw from to replenish their supplies. So it's the first turn. Let's say that Asia goes first. They've got a good move, and so they're going to play 1 tile. To indicate that, they'll place a cube on the play 1 tile square of their action pad. And this allows them to, for example, here, connect both solar and hydroelectric. And because there's a group of 5, that allows them to claim that as a solar construction site. And they'll place a cube, let's say, right here, to show that it's their construction site. And they get to replenish their supply. So let's say they go for this tile. So again, they'll have 3. Now it's over to North America. And they have kind of limited options. What they can do is choose to replace all of their tiles by putting a cube here. And then they can turn in all 3 and take another set of 3 from here. You can put those anywhere. Let's say they take this one and the 2 underneath it that are blind. And that allows them then to get 3 new tiles and still place 1. So let's say they place this here. And that allows them to build a construction site of hydroelectric and place the cube right next to the orange cube to have synergy hopefully in the future. And then they get to take another tile from the piles to replenish. And they've got a couple options. Let's say they take this one here. And now it's back to Asia. Asia can play 2 tiles. And so they may want to play 2 tiles over here. This gets them a total of 9 quadrants. And actually, I think if I was them, what I would do is something a bit different. Possibly place that over here and then place this over here. So that's a group of 5 quadrants of geothermal. So they got another construction site, and they can then play this next turn to get their 10 quadrants of solar, and that gets them to upgrade this construction site up to a power plant because of the 10 cubes. Every time you hit a 5er or a group of 5 more connected quadrants, you get another cube on the table. And they can get 2 more tiles to replenish their supply. This will be useful, and this also could be quite useful. So they are looking pretty good over here for Asia. Got to play catch up here. But there's also a good move that North America can do by placing this tile over here. So let's say they want to possibly play this one and another one. So they'll play 2 tiles, and I think that might be their best move. And then lay this over here. Let's say over here. So as soon as they have 5 connected wind quadrants, they get to put a cube there. And then because they're laying 2 tiles as their action, they can put a second tile there. And then get some more energy here. And take 1 blind. Not a bad choice. Back to Asia over here. And I think Asia would be tempted to lay the 1 tile here. that would grant them a total of 10 quadrants of solar that are all connected. That allows them to boost their site to a power plant, and any adjacent sites also get boosted because of the proximity of roads and power lines, and so their geothermal gets boosted, as does the North American wind and hydroelectric. So everyone's pretty happy. They get to pick up another tile over here. This should have been turned over. So possibly this is the best tile for them. And now back to North America, and they've got a couple options. I think what they may want to do is steal a tile. So if they choose that action, the second special action over here, they put their cube here, they get to steal a tile from their opponent, and that's done blind. And so Asia would shuffle these. And then North American could choose any one and then give them a reject tile back. So let's say they choose that one. Not bad. And then they can still play a tile, but they get to give one back over here. I think that they would probably give this one away. And then they get to play a tile here. So possibly this is their best play. And they get to choose another tile. Let's say this one here. Now it's back to Asia. So Asia's got 3 tiles, and they can lay 2 again if they wish. And one thing that they may want to do is try and get another 5er over here of solar. So if they lay this one here, then they'll connect those 4 plus 1 more here. That's a nice combination. So that's a total of 15 quadrants of solar, and they get to add another cube to their solar power plant to make it a power plant. A power plant with 2 is worth 10, and a power tower with 3 cubes is worth a bonus of 3 more points plus that last cube, so that's 18 in total. So that's quite good news. Plus they have a nice tile here to pick up, and they might take the next one blind. Back to North America here, and I think North America is got to start thinking about building another construction site. They're not quite there yet. So I think what they might want to do is add that there to pick up those 2 quadrants, so they're going to get a bit closer. Now this area here, if they add just one more quadrant there, they're in good shape. I think what I'll do is just put that there and maybe block access over there. So kind of blocking out geothermal access by Asia. That's a bit aggressive. And we get our 10th cube, another 5 added over here to the wind farm. So that's now a power tower, not just a power plant. North America can get a few more of these. So let's say these 2. Back to Asia, and Asia needs to build an oil field, and so that might be a couple places to build. Let's say they start to build over here. A couple different options. There's a bit more oil over here, and so that might be a good idea. And let's say they go there, and then they have to get one more tile to replace, and a couple options there. Let's say here. Back to North America, and let me see here. They've got 5, 6, 7, 8 of the hydro. So this is one too many. If they add this, they'll have 11. That's one too many. They didn't hit the fiver. So they won't be playing that there at this point. What they probably still need to do is get the oil. And they also need to get some solar. So they've got a couple risks. They could grow here, but that's a bit close to where Asia's building. And so they might choose just to grow over here. And actually, it might be best to grow like this. And I think they can lay 2 if I recall correctly. So they might also choose to go here and maybe block a bit of access by Asia to that oil. And then this might be a bit excessive, but hey, might be something useful there. And they lucked out. Just put these over here, create a little more space. Back to Asia, and Asia can lay 1 tile and create a wind farm over here. So that's another construction site for them. And then they get to replenish their supply. Let's say they take that. Now, good news over here for North America, because if they lay this like so, not only do they get a construction site of oil, but they've also achieved another fiver of the hydroelectric. So they go up to a power tower, and they can just lay 1 tile. So that was their, I think, only choice. That might be good in the future. Back to Asia, they can lay 2 tiles, and that might be useful. And they would like to grow both of those areas are pretty important. And what Asia lacks so far is a hydroelectric site. So they're glad to see that show up. And let's say they go like this. So they laid 2 tiles there and are looking pretty good. If they take this here and this here, they can create some more growth over in this area. And back to North America. Oh, sorry, I think they laid 2 tiles there, so that should have been put there. Over here, North America can also lay 2 tiles again. So this looks like a good opportunity here to create a construction site right next door there. And they've got a lot of possibilities there as well. So okay. And possibly this, and who knows, this one here might be the best. Back to Asia, I think there's a couple possibilities here for them. This here would be good. So that's a fiver. Plus, they can lay a second tile like so, or like so would be even better. Potentially getting another hydroelectric right here. And okay, back to North America. Now, they can also steal a construction site. I haven't shown, or I did show that already, I think. No, I didn't. if they choose to steal a construction site, they would take one of their opponent's sites. And at this point, they're pretty happy here, though, and I think aren't too likely to do so unless they can boost one of those or this area, and they can't. So I'm going to hold off on that option. I think we'll just lay 2 tiles. So that's pretty helpful there. This is a little less crowded, maybe. Actually, this here might be even better. So right now they've got 8. That would box them in, so I'm not going to do that necessarily. Over here we've got 5, 5. Need a couple more there. So I think I'll just put this one here. Maybe like so. Actually, I'll put it like this. And then they get 2 more tiles. Back to Asia. And I think we've got a couple options here. They really need to boost that area. And this would be useful over here, for example, so that's good news, because that plus that will create a tenor. And so then let's focus over here, and this would be useful in a little bit. I think for now, let's just create a possible 5er here in the next move. Replenish the tiles back to North America. And there's a bit of a complicated, busy area here. Keep in mind that North America is, what they want to do is achieve Green Queen, for example, by getting a power plant here. So that's fairly important if they have a power plant of each type. And so they might choose to lay this tile here. They can just lay 1 this turn. So they're getting closer now. Not quite 15 on green. And they don't yet have a site for geothermal, so that's important for them. And then over here, back with Asia, there's the potential to lay 2 tiles, so that's good. So this here creates a construction site for hydro. And then we've got 7 there. It's not quite enough to get to get a boost. Whereas over here, it is possible to get a tenor of oil. So that's 10 quadrants. Adding a cube here to make a power plant also boosts the adjacent power plant of wind. Now this is really good news for Asia because they have a power plant both of geothermal and also of oil. And so they get to put a cube on the well digger to show they have 6 additional points and that they have power plants of each type. And then they'll take 2 more tiles. We only have 1 tile pile left at this point. Back to North America. And they've got to catch up here. I think if they lay this tile here, they have a good situation there in the sense that they will get 10 quadrants connected there. And that might be the first order of business. Just move these tiles over here. And so in this case, they have 10 of solar. That gets boosted to a power plant, as does the adjacent oil construction site. So at this point, North America has a power plant of solar, wind, and also hydro. So they've achieved Green Queen. And they're going to lay one more tile. So let's say they lay this tile here. That's a 5er on geothermal. And they get 2 tiles from the pile. Back here to Asia. And they have, their primary goal now is to get this blue area boosted. And they can do that a couple different ways. This is quite helpful in the sense that they're getting close if they pick this tile up to a tenor there. And so they may choose to lay that next time. They can only lay 1 tile this time around, so let's say they go there. And that's then 13 on oil. Back to North America. And what they really need to do is boost this area. And they're in good shape. Plus, they also have another tile here that will be quite useful potentially. So let's say that they would like to lay that there. I think they could just lay 1 tile, and then in the future they can put that there. It's getting a bit tight on the screen, but hopefully you can see there. And then over here, back to Asia, they laid 1 tile last time. This time they may want to lay down 2. In particular, there's the possibility to, let's say, lay that one. So then they've got, actually, no, that's not a good idea. What they want to do is just lay this one. And that gets them a total of 10 of the geothermal. That boosts the adjacent hydroelectric. And because of that, they've achieved also Green Queen. So they take the tile from here and place it on Green Queen. And they've achieved their goal of creating 1 power plant or power tower of every energy type for Asia. And because they've spent out all their cubes, they're all on the board on these global mission cards, the game is now over. And North America had a good move and was right on their heels, but the game is now over. And the way that you count the points is that every cube on the board is worth 5, and those that are in power towers have an additional 3 points added. And so for Asia, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, plus 15, that's 65, plus a bonus of 3, that's 68. And they get the global missions here. This is 74 and 82. And then if they achieve this, then they get that additional 4 points, but they didn't because the tallest tower of wind is owned actually by North America. So that has no value. North America has 10 and 20 points on power towers or power plants. Over here they have 2 power towers, so 18 and 18, that's 36. That's 56, plus another 5 over here is 61. And they didn't get the largest, actually this is the largest area, but this oil field by Asia is larger in area than the oil field that North America owns. So that's their total value. So Asia has won pretty handily this game. Thanks for watching, and do ask us if you have any questions at ask@geopowr.com. Thanks, bye-bye.